Every morning, Maria Kavamaki wakes up to her greatest worry. Will she lose her job today? She works as a secretary and takes home €1,000 a month. The family needs the income to be able to keep up with their mortgage payments.
I work for a project office which lives off government contracts, which are being radically cut right now. I was supposed to be laid off in December, but then the job continued. But now my boss wants to see me again. I'm worried.
Her husband, Lukas Voliontopoulos, also drives to work with a bad feeling. He runs a garage in central Athens. His turnover has dropped by 30% in recent weeks. He runs the garage with his brother. They share the profit. But business has fallen on hard times.
People only come for the absolute necessities, an oil change, that kind of thing. Few people come for a full service. I used to get at least €1,200 a month. Now it's only an average of €700 to €800. It's causing us huge problems.
Later, Voliontopoulos picks up his daughter and nieces from kindergarten. It's one of the few times he uses his car. Because of the high gas prices, he usually leaves it at home. He tries to save where he can. He says there's no way they could afford to have a second child.
Obviously, it would be nice, but we couldn't possibly afford it. It would be an additional burden for us, and not nice for the child either.
On working days, he takes the children to their grandmother. That's a widespread practice in Greece. But Voliontopoulos is also dependent on his mother financially. Without her help, there's no way he and his family could make ends meet.
For the first time in my life, I'm really worried about my children's and grandchildren's future. My husband and I always had to fight to make ends meet. He died a long time ago and I'm retired, but things are so dire now, it breaks my heart. There's just no sign of change.
The family keep a tight rein on their finances.
Electricity, water, telephone, what else?
The neighbors find it amusing that they keep an exact record of all their expenditures. In the old days, when Greece had the drachma, the couple were able to afford more. They even ate out in restaurants sometimes.
Having a national currency offers a decisive advantage. The country can control its own exchange rate. It can devalue it and so boost its exports. That's decisive for getting out of the crisis.
Back at the garage, it's now late in the afternoon and things are quiet again. The 37-year-old uses the time to plan his future. He intends to immigrate to Australia. He already has his papers. The car mechanic plans to go to Melbourne to sound out job opportunities there. He has an aunt he can stay with. If he gets a job, his family will join him.
Obviously, it's not easy turning your back on your homeland, but I have to do it. This uncertainty means I have no choice. I have a family to feed, and the situation here shows no sign of improving in the foreseeable future. I have to offer my child a future. So emigrating is the only option.
In the evening, he goes home. He knows that Greece would long since be bankrupt without the financial aid of the EU and the IMF. But he believes the latest belt-tightening measures are counterproductive, just as the government's plans to sell off its assets are.
These new austerity measures are really tough. And what's the point of privatizing all our state companies? Then they'll all be in foreign hands. And of course, they'll pursue their own interests. What we need is new business opportunities that will bring growth.
They no longer believe in their country. In July, Lucas Foliantopoulos will fly to Australia, and he hopes his family can follow.